Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melody, and I want to welcome you to my home. And thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. Today, what I want to try to do, well, and I am going to try it, hopefully this internet stays intact. We're going to do something a little bit different, both savory and sweet. The other day, we made cream puffs. Well, today, what I'm going to do is something similar. These are called shrimp salad profiteroles, which is basically a cream puff. But we're going to take half of these, and I'm going to do a shrimp salad to stuff into the puffs. And then the other half, I'm going to do a cheesecake puff, similar to what we did on the last video. It doesn't take much to do this. It's just a matter of getting your ingredients together. We have in our homes most everything we need to make these shrimp puffs and the cheesecake puffs. Flour, water, eggs, salt, and the salad shrimp. All you need is those little salad shrimps. Let me show you what they look like. They're just like this. They come frozen. They're cooked. They're deveined. No tails. And what I'm going to do with those, since it calls for some onions and peppers and things like that, I'm just going to take some of my veggies, which is onions, peppers, scallions, celery, that we froze a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to use those as my base. So this is going to be really simple. I'm just going to mince them up a little bit in the food processor, and then just put it together with your regular go-to items. Mayonnaise. I'm going to put a little bit of cream cheese in this though, to just enrich it a little bit, because this is for a special event. So with that being said, I hope you stay with me and come on into the kitchen, and we will start our shrimp puffs and our cheesecake puffs. Okay, so I've got everything together for our shrimp puffs. The first thing I'm going to do though is make the shrimp salad slash stuffing for our puffs. The only reason I'm doing that is because I want to get that made, and then I want to get it into the refrigerator to chill, because the longer it sits in the refrigerator, up to even overnight, the tastier it's going to be, because the flavors just kind of meld. So this is more technique than anything to get all this right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and mince my shrimp, with the exception of about a half a cup. I'm going to leave those whole, so when the puffs are done, I can take a couple of these and put them on the top of the puffs, so people can tell that they're shrimp puffs. So I'm going to set those aside. Now these are semi-frozen, and I want to do that too, so it doesn't gum up the machine. So with that being said, let's mince up our shrimp. And here they go. And here they go. Yeah, here go the doggies. Here it is, I told you. Okay. You guys gonna help? Okay. Here we go. I know, what do you think? Oh, there's your squirrel. And that's it. That's it for the shrimp. Let me show you what they look like. There's your shrimp. There's your squirrel. There's your shrimp. So you want it like that. Just just minced up just a little bit. You don't need it a lot. So let's go ahead and pour those in there, blade and all, huh? There we go. You don't have to wash it out. There's your squirrel, Andy. That's why I want to do it while they're still partially frozen. Because if you don't, you wait for them to thaw out, and you do that, it just gets gummy. So you want to stay away from that. Now, these vegetables, we did these a couple of weeks ago. We just took them out of the refrigerator and diced them up and threw them in the freezer. And I use these, they're my go-to for everything from soups to toppings to, you know, this. Salads, because they're all fresh. You want to do, I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole bag. Well, it's not a whole bag. It's going to be about 2 cups worth of vegetables. And then we can portion that out. Let me throw this away. What you doing, Andy? Okay. And that's cold. Okay, here we go. I know. Here we go again, guys. Okay, here we go again. There we go. I know. What do you think, Andy? Uh-oh. What do you think? And there we have it. And that's all you have to do for that. Okay. So, we're going to put this. Oh, let me show you what that looks like. See? It's still it's not blended, is what I'm trying to say. It's just very tiny. Because I want that when I go to put this on my puffs. Some people take and they actually pipe this, which is a good way to do it, but I prefer to scoop it onto the puffs. It just has more of a rustic look. And there you go with that filling. So, what we're going to do now, you don't need to wash this again. We're going to take, now let me go over my seasonings. Okay, I've got 2 teaspoons, this is all 2 teaspoons, and you can adjust this as you go. Taste it as we go, and we can make adjustments because this is a large amount because I'm making it for an event tomorrow and for a get-together with neighbors later this evening. So 2 teaspoons of ranch dressing, dry ranch dressing. Make sure it's dry. You don't want to put any more liquid items in here because you'll make your stuffing too runny and it'll make your puff soft. Old Bay, 2 teaspoons. Then we got dill weed. Now, this is all dry. You can use fresh if you want. Actually, the dill would probably be awesome fresh. I just don't have any. And then my onion powder and garlic powder. And that's it. Then what we're going to do, I've got a tablespoon of cream cheese and a little over a half a cup of mayo. The only reason I put the cream cheese, I wanted to cut the mayonnaise. I didn't want it to have an over a mayo taste that it would take over the taste of the shrimp. So we're also going to squeeze a lemon. I can't do the squeezers. My hand won't do that, so I have to do it this way. And the lemon helps cut that mayo flavor as well and gives it more of a fresh taste. I think you'll like that. Now I take these lemons like this and I put them in my sink drain. And it freshens up my sink drain. Okay, so we're going to put this all in here, like so, along with all our seasonings, like so. Get every little bit, and we'll taste this as we go, okay? I'm a taster. You know, I err on the side of caution when I first make it, and then I taste it afterwards, and then I can adjust the taste then. If I do it in the beginning, and I do the recipe, and I find out, oh, I don't like that, you can't take it out. Okay, so here we go. We're going to blend this. Doesn't take much. Okay. So let's taste this. Let me get a clean spoon. I'm going to put more Old Bay in it. A couple of shakes. Maybe a teaspoon. Because you want it to taste shrimpy. What are you doing, Andy? There's your squirrel again. There he is. And I'm also, when all is said and done, I'm going to, I know, here we go again. I'm going to decorate this with a little bit of dill and a little bit more of Old Bay. So I want to be careful with what I'm doing. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, all done. Love food processors. Hate to clean them. Okay, I'll get another spoon. I'll taste that too. Okay, I'll take that. Tastes good. And get everything out of the way. Watch out, Rosie. Now, in my larger container, I'm just going to go ahead and get my aroma spatula. I'm going to mix this up. And this keeps everything cold when you do it partially frozen. And you can adjust your liquids in this too once it's all said and done. Okay, let's get rid of this. I want to save every little bit that I can because it's like gold. But, you know, again, just err on the side of caution when you're making this because you just don't want your filling runny. And once it sets up in the refrigerator too, it will thicken up on you. Might just be enough. And with that cream cheese in here, yeah, this is going to be good. With the cream cheese, it's not going to be as liquidy as it would without the cream cheese. You know how cream cheese is, especially when it gets cold. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect. The vegetables stand out. The shrimp stands out. A little bit of red. So can you imagine once that's in your puffs with a little bit of dill and Old Bay sprinkled on top? Yum. So let's go ahead and taste this. It's not going to taste like much right now because, first of all, it's still semi-frozen. And second of all, it hasn't had a chance to meld. That is just spectacular. I could eat the whole thing right now. Okay, I'm just going to sit this in the refrigerator. I'm going to cover it. We're just going to set it in the refrigerator and let it do its thing. And then we'll start on our choux pastry. Okay? Come on. Okay, so I'm all set up. I've got my shrimp filling in the refrigerator chilling. Chilling. Really. I don't tell too many jokes because I can't remember them, number one, and they're never funny, number two. Okay, so we're going to do the choux pastry, the cream puff dough. And what this is all about is what we did the other day with just the plain cream puffs. So we're going to redo that, but instead of the food processor, which I made the dough in, we're going to do it in the stand mixer. I want to see, here's the stand mixer. I'm going to have to move that over so you'll be able to see it. Okay, so I've got a cup of milk and water. Well, half a cup of milk, half a cup of water. You can use all water, all milk. I just choose to do half a cup of the water and the milk. Milk has a tendency to keep the gluten in the flour from bouncing back. So that's why I choose to use that. Andy, there's your squirrel. Go look. There's your squirrel. So I've got it heating now. I've got a half a cup of butter, which is a stick, and a pinch of salt in here. We're going to bring that up to a rapid simmer. Not so much a boil. You don't need to do that. And I'm using a cup and a quarter of all-purpose flour, 4 eggs. And then I have, waiting in the wings, a 5th egg, just in case I'm going to need it. When you're working with flours and doughs, you never know. Sometimes you use less, sometimes you use more. But just err on the side of caution and keep an extra egg out. Okay, the choux pastry, according to this, is pretty much what we did. We've got here a cup of water, half a cup of butter, which is a stick, half a teaspoon of salt, which I've already put in here, 1 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, and some people actually use bread flour. It's all, you know, how you prefer your dough, because you don't want this too stiff. It has to be somewhat runny so that you can pipe it out. Andy, mailman. And then they love the mailman. And then, of course, the 4 eggs. Now, what I didn't do, I didn't beat the eggs up. I left them whole so I could put them in. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to put them in the mixer once the dough is done. So this is coming up. Now, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to bring you over here so that you can see this instead of watching me watch it. So let's do that, and that way you can see exactly what we're doing, okay? Okay, so if I was doing just the sweet, like the cream puffs with cheesecake filling, I would put a tablespoon of sugar and a dash of vanilla in this. But this is going for our savory, so I did not add that. Some people put the sugar in it regardless because they think it enhances the flavor, and it just might. But I just prefer it this way. You can figure out how you want to do it once you start playing around with this as well. I've already got my pans ready to go. I've got 2 cookie sheets ready to go. Parchment paper and aluminum foil. Okay, this is almost there. I want to bring it up just a little bit more. I don't want to bring it over. What is it, Andy? Look. There we go. What is it? It's really overcast here today and very, very humid. I had the dogs out early this morning, like 7:30. Okay. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. I've got bubbles. If you can see those bubbles forming. I just want it to pick up just a little bit more. Because the thing of it is, you don't want too much evaporation in this liquid because it's going to offset your recipe with 1 1/4 cups of flour. That's the whole idea of when we mix it. What is it, Andy? Can't you get down? Okay, so we have look, Andy. I know. He just keeps walking around like he's looking for something. Okay, it's simmering. Let me bring it up just a little bit more. And there we have it. Okay. It's a nice simmer. So we're going to dump our flour in here all at once. Just like so. Then we're going to incorporate it into the liquid. Andy, is Marcia out there? Huh? Or Don? Now, what we're looking to do, of course, not only just to incorporate this, but we want to cook this flour. You don't want raw pastry flour. So we're looking for it to stick a little bit on the bottom. You don't want to burn it. Now I'm going to turn this heat off because I don't want to burn it, and you don't need it on anyway. So I'm just going to keep stirring it. Make sure it's incorporated. Then we're going to turn it back on. This is just precaution. There we go. I'd rather keep turning it off and on, making sure it's totally incorporated, than it not be incorporated and be on the burner and burn. So be wary of that. And it's slowly getting there. Now when we go to put the eggs in here, this has to be cooled off just a little bit because you don't want to cook the eggs. So once I put this in the stand mixer, and there we go, we're starting to get the bottom where it's sticking. Once we get in the stand mixer, we'll turn that on and let it cool down just a tad. Such an easy dough to make, and it's so much fun, and it tastes so good, and it can be in so many different applications. Eclairs, cream puffs, just so much stuff. This came along, the Italians came up with this in the 15th century. The French took it over and took it over the top. And Pate Choux actually stands for dough. Pate is dough, and choux is little cabbage because they look like little cabbages. Okay, let's turn this off. Let's take it over here and squish it along the sides to cool it off a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this eye so I don't burn myself. Okay, let's let that sit there, okay, just for a minute. Okay, so, Andy, there they go. So, we've got our mixer, our stand mixer, with our paddle attachment. Like so. So, what I'm going to do is take our choux pastry, and we're going to plop it in our mixer bowl. And then put water on your pan right away, and then that will come right up. Not that stuck on the bottom, see? So we'll put that in water right now. And then what we're going to do to cool this off just a little bit before we add our eggs is just to turn it on just for a little bit. Like so. Now I've already got my mixer, listen to me. I've already got my piping bag ready to go. And that's pretty much it. My oven's at 400 degrees. And then we're going to, now according to this, now I do mine for about 15 minutes and then another 10. But for 15 minutes, we're going to cook this at 400, and then we're going to reduce it to 350 for 25 more minutes. Now this is a little bit of a variance of what I usually do. But you do that, after about 15, 20 minutes, you want to poke the puffs to release the steam. Okay, so here goes. Let's go ahead and put one egg in there. One egg. And then we want to let that incorporate. You think it's not going to incorporate, but it does. Okay, let's get our other egg in there. Now, once we get all 4 eggs in there, we'll figure out if it's loose enough to pipe, but yet hold together, and if we need that 5th egg. Now, the last time I made this, I did use the 5th egg. There's a lot of reasons why. Okay, let's do another egg. Yeah, if you can make biscuits and gravy, that's harder than making this. Once you make it one time and you see what pitfalls come, if you don't follow the steps, you'll know. It's just like, you know, making gravy. When you have you put your fat in first, then you put your flour and your salt and pepper, and you cook that down before you add your milk. It's basically the very same thing. I mean, not the same process. It's just the same idea. You're just cooking the dough. Okay, let's have this last egg and see where we are. Let's turn this up a little bit. Like I said, you think it's never going to come together, but it does. It's coming together right now. We just might have to use the other egg. Let's check it out and see. Okay, let's open this up. You know, guys, look, see, that's pretty. See how thick that is? How dense? We don't want that. We're going to add the other egg. Okay, I added the other egg. So let me show you what you're looking for to make sure that you have the right density with this. See how it wants to come off the paddle? Shake it a little bit and comes off. There you have it. The reason being, if it's too thick and dense, you're going to have a heavy puff. And if it's too loose, it won't hold its shape. Just like cake batter, cupcakes, breads. So that's what you're looking for. Very simple. Just keep eyeing it. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is put it in my piping bag. Now, you don't have to have a piping bag. You can scoop this out with a cookie sheet or a cookie scoop, or just a spoon. You know, put it on there. Or you can take a gallon plastic bag, tip the corner of it, and pipe it that way. If you're into this, do yourself a favor. You can get these tips and bags, less than $10. So do yourself a favor and do that. So let's go ahead and get this in here, and we'll get this piped in the oven. Okay, it's just simple. Now these can be held unfilled once they're cooled down in an airtight container overnight, which I'm going to do for this event we're having, because I don't want to make everything now and let them run the risk of getting soggy overnight. And it just takes a minute to put them together, as I'm making a big mess here. But I'm going to try to get all of this dough in this bag, and I can do that. Don't want to waste anything. It takes too much trouble to make it, huh? One more scrape, and I think we got it. We'll get rid of that. Get that all the way down. Now, a little secret, if you didn't see the last video, I want to show you what they tell you to do so your puffs don't go flying everywhere. You want to dollop a little piece there. That keeps them from flying all over the place. Same thing over here. Like so. Next is a little glue. I need to, next time I order parchment paper, I'm going to get the larger parchment paper. This can be a pain. So let's do the other side. Let's see if you can see that. Now these aren't going to be big because they're just like canapes. They're not meant to be like a sandwich type size. They're smaller. So over there. There we go. See how that picks up? You don't want that to happen when you're putting your cream puffs on here. And the same thing here. There we go. Okay, let's get started. Now, so what we want to do, a little bit of pressure. Now don't put these too close together because they are going to rise. See how that's jumping up on me? There we go. I'll do a few more and you can see what I'm doing. You don't have to watch me do all of them. See how that pops up? I could have put a little bit more on there, couldn't I have? Okay. Okay, so I've got them all piped out. So we don't want these little things like that sticking up. Okay, so what we're going to do is take an egg wash. We're going to brush over top of it. The egg wash also adds a beautiful shine to these. Plus it takes care of those little bumps in the top. Now these are going to be bigger than what they are right now, but they're not going to be that much larger. These are just little canapes. And we're going to put them in a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes. And then we're going to turn the heat down. I don't necessarily do that all the time, but I'm going to follow this recipe. Just to turn the heat down to 350 for 25 minutes. Now what I usually do is I bake them for 15 minutes and then take them out and poke them with a skewer to let the steam out, which I'm going to do anyway because we don't want soggy puffs. And then I put them back in there for another 10 minutes and then open the door with the oven off for 10 minutes. So it's not just the recipe, it's all about technique and tips. Okay, so these are ready to go, guys. Let's go ahead and put them in the oven. And we'll set the timer. like so. They should be really tasty. Turn the oven light on. There we go. Alexa, set timer for 15 minutes. Okay, so Alexa's going to remind us in 15 minutes. And when that's done, I'll bring you back and show you what they look like and show you how I take my skewer and, poke them to let the steam out. Okay, so I took these out of the 400-degree oven, and we're going to lower the temperature to 350, but we're going to stab them. They're already turning brown, like so. And then back in the oven they go. Okay, I'm getting ready to turn the temp down, or turn it off actually, and crack the door, but I want you to see the puffs. They really turned out pretty. See how big they are? Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the second batch of cream puffs that we have in the oven that I just turned down to 350. And these are a little bit larger. I'm going to use these for the cheesecake stuffing. Okay, so what we did, Sam did me a favor and went ahead and took some of the cream puffs that I'm going to use for the event tomorrow, and we stuffed those with the shrimp stuffing, the filling, and then we did a little bit of dill and a little bit of Old Bay in those, and I'm giving those to my neighbors. I promised them when I made the shrimp puffs I would take those over. The other ones I'm going to keep overnight in an airtight container, and then tomorrow I'm going to be filling those right before the event because I just don't want them sitting overnight in the refrigerator. So here they are. Look at that. See? And they're all stuffed with a little shrimp. Let me show you this. See? And the filling, really attractive. Very tasty. Sam and I have been munching on them. And then these are the ones I have left over that they're just plain. I'm going to be putting these in a plastic bag. I'm going to seal it, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. And in the morning, I will go ahead and fill that with the cheesecake filling, as well as the other half, the shrimp filling. Okay, so I just want to say thank you for visiting my home today and spending time with me and allowing me in your home. Hopefully you'll get a few tips out of this. This is, it's so easy. I think it's fun. Kids would love doing this. Like I said, you don't need any special equipment to make this. And you have the recipes, listen to me, the ingredients already on hand. Most of us do. Flour, water, eggs. That's it. And just follow, the few tips that I've thrown your way. Now, I am going to try to upload the description and the recipe on both of these, both the savory and the sweet. Hopefully, I can get through that without the internet erasing it, which it has been doing. But I'm not getting into that right now. So I'll work on that this evening so everybody will have an idea of just how to go about making these. So give it a try. In the meantime, I want you to have a good evening, a good weekend, and take care of yourself, your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And please, check on your neighbors because you never know what goes on behind closed doors and who may need you and who someday you may need. So with that being said, thank you. And please, if you like my channel or you like my videos, if you could find it in your heart to hit the like button or subscribe. I would so appreciate it just to help my channel grow. With that, I'm going to bid you adieu and have a good evening. Bye-bye now.